Well, good morning. Today is 21st, Friday, 21st March 2025. And Juicy, this was March 19th. March 19th, let me show you very quickly. This was the dot plot. Dot plot inamaanisha kulikuwa na ile voting ya FOMC cheer people, watu wenye wanakuanga kwa hiyo meeting. So walikuwa wana vote on their expectation, what they think about the interest rates, kama itaraisiwa ama itaraisiwa. But most of the people walikuwa wanafikiri, most of these people who are in this meeting walikuwa wanafikiri interest rates haiwezi katiwa. And after that, okay, this is Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell, here is Jerome Powell speaking. That's the chair of the Federal Meeting Committee. And after that meeting, this was the summary of the Fed decision. Fed leaves rates unchanged. Interest rates haikuchangiwa. Fed says uncertainty around economy has increased. Of course, that is what we have been seeing in gold and many blah 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 blah. So, let me show you something interesting sasa about the Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin. So there is some concept unafaa understand, that is the quantitative tightening and quantitative easing. Najua watu wenye walisoma finance ama economics wanaelewa hiyo. Quantitative easing basically inamaanisha the Federal Reserves actually ina draw more money into the economy. Actually the government ina end up ikinunua more bonds, making the interest rates equate cheap, and more people will be borrowing money and more money will be in circulation. But now quantitative tightening is the opposite. The Federal Reserve is like in a suck liquidity out of the market. Like for example, sahi US inasema, the treasury inasema in the backup account there is no money. Yani money imekuwa depleted, ilikuanga 800 trillion na sahi account inasoma around 500 trillion. Yani in short, the US economy they can't borrow anymore. Wamefika the ceiling, the debt ceiling, and the Federal Reserve will end up sasa imeanza kutumia the money which is in reserve, the backup account. Now the backup account inasoma around 500 trillion, and that is now very tricky. When that happens, we know that at some point in time there will be quantitative tightening. Yani for the Federal Reserve to reimburse that money back into the account, lazima isack liquidity, lazima ichukue pesa from the markets, then they fill their reserve, and that is not good for the that is not good actually for the risk assets kama BTC. For example here, let me show you. Hapa kulikuwa na quantitative tightening inafanya, naona BTC ilikuwa inashuka, but at some point here hapa juu kulikuwa na quantitative tightening ikashuka mpaka hapa chini. There was quantitative easing, then the market ikaanza kuja juu. But sasa from the last FOMC meeting, FOMC meeting walisema there is no interest rate increase, there is no interest rate cuts, yani there's nothing unchanged. Tunaona hapa, there's nothing. Fed leaves rates unchanged for second straight meeting. There's nothing unchanged. And what the market is telling you, I know most of the people wanakuanga optimistic in the markets. Most of the, even me, general trader, lazima anafikirianga tu kununua. But sasa, what the Federal Reserve is telling you is that the FOMC is telling you that usifanye kitu, do nothing. There's no change in interest rates. So the best thing you can do now is to do nothing. Nothing, absolutely nothing. In fact, in my own point of view, Trump, unajua Trump ni mtu strategic, sahi anataka the interest rates ikuje chini. That's why ana impose more tariffs. If anything good comes into the market, ana impose tariffs. Yani to make sure that the markets inashuka vibaya mno, ana impose more tariffs. Ni kama in short ana force the FOMC to cut, ana force Jerome Powell, who is the chair of the FOMC, to cut the interest rates. And if that happens, and tomorrow that there's nothing change in the current FOMC, there's no change in the interest rates. So if Trump pushes this furthermore, what will happen is that at some point Jerome Powell ata let it go, ataamua sasa, okay, wacha to cut the interest rates. And if that happens, be sure that mimi as a crypto person, I think the most money you can make actually hata ikwangi kwa forex, it is in the crypto space, because if this market actually tumeona inaanza kupanda hapa, lakini this is for the markets will give out its gains. Unaona hizi gains, the market itaanza ku give out its gains. So what I'm waiting to see, this fight against Trump and FOMC is not yet over. So what I'm waiting to see is the interest rates to be cut, then the market ishuke. So mi nangoja sasa Bitcoin ifike karibu 71,000. 71,000 around here. Yeah, 71,000 around this place. So the market ikifika hapa, you will make huge profits, like crazy profits. Okay, if you don't want to trade Bitcoin, do this. I want you to do some research, which is the most correlated pair na BTC. For me, mimi nimeonanga kuna some coin hapa inakuanga ukichora BTC chart against that coin chart, unaona the correlation, there is higher correlation between BTC and that coin chart. Mi sitakuambia hiyo coin ni gani, since BTC hata ikitoka from 70,000 ama 71,000 to maybe 200 ama 210, that will be like 3x. But sasa ukipata coin yenye ni cheap na iko mostly correlated na Bitcoin, you will make crazy money. You will make crazy money. Kama ulimisingi ile Trump coin ama Melania coin, this is the opportunity. Mi naona this is the opportunity to get into the markets, to get into crypto. Very nice. We